The story is about Molly, who has just been released out of a closed psychiatrical ward after being traumatized due to a tragic accident. A new life begins when Molly moves into a new apartment, but soon she starts to hear barely noticeable knocks from the floor upstairs. The knockings evolve into patterns that sounds like Morse code. She understands that someone needs help, but when she confronts her neighbors, no one seems to be hearing what Molly hears. Nobody believes her.
From behind.
Yes.
She's coming behind. Well, Frida, Cecilia, thank you for joining me today. What a great thriller. I really enjoyed it. It was excellent. There's on so many levels. So thank you so much for joining me today for Sundance 2021. Frida, let's start with you. Knocking was based on a short novel. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And I love how do you say it in Swedish? I had it in Knackningar, and when it came up, I was like, that just sounds suspenseful right in itself.
Knackningar.
Yeah, oh, I love it. It sounds better when you say it, actually. And it's funny, Frida, because I was thinking about during this movie, I was thinking about Edgar Allan Poe and The Raven because of the rapping and the knocking, because it symbolized death and tragedy and despair. So I just kept thinking, hearing that rapping on the ceiling, it just can remind me of Edgar Allan Poe.
Wow, that's a very nice thing to say. Thanks.
And Celia, tell me about the challenge of acting by yourself and just reacting to sounds.
Well, yes. When you ask me that now, a thing we did went to theater school. It's called Private Room, and it was an exercise which you did a lot of hours, because you were supposed to not show anything, just be in your private room. It's like, and to take off all those layers of being watched. It was like a kind of that. I haven't thought about that, but now when you asked me, it was a little about like that exercise, private room. And I had a lot of people in the room which weren't supposed to be there, the team. And then I had this excellent Hannes, the cinematographer, that long word. He was like very me all the time, but he was an excellent not being there cinematographer. So he was sneaking around me.
And Frida, for myself, I saw a lot of Alfred Hitchcock in this movie, some influences. Birds, you had the finch on the balcony railing, you had birds at the glass door, you use a lot of bird's eye shot looking down on Molly. Also Rear Window, Molly peeping in the buildings across the way. So was I right that you kind of paying a little homage to Hitchcock there?
I guess so. I mean, I went to film school and study film studies. So I guess I was fed with those films, and I mean, watching Hitchcock, it stays with you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah. So the bird. I didn't really think about it then, but some things it's just there because you have your experience and you have your things. But yeah, Rear Window for sure. Not knowing and just observation and what is really going on.
And Cecilia, could all this be on Molly's imagination? Because her reality is in question throughout the whole film. She came from a mental institution for having a tragedy. And so the whole movie, you're guessing, is this really happening or not? How did you play that?
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah. no, that's like it's very. We talked a lot about that, me and Frida, because that's really something that we recognize. Your own truth is not being supported by people around you, and for Molly, no one is supporting her truth, not even one. Maybe the only person that should have done that doesn't exist anymore. She's not there. Her accident. So yes, I had like that dialogue in my head.
And that was I was thinking that too, Frida, is
Yeah.
that the movie's an allegory for women who are in situations maybe battered or raped or something, and they don't believe them. The truth, when she was speaking of truth, that she was going to everyone saying, look, this is happening, you know, but since she's under medication, it's kind of like, is she really? But again, it's an allegory for, you know, women need to be believed, you know, when they make these statements.
Yeah, exactly. I almost see the building as a metaphor for the society and all these people who doesn't really, you know, listen and care. And I mean, talking about the Me Too movement that happened a couple of years ago, it's really feels like an urging topic to talk about. And yeah.
And when I was also your use of sound, she was reacting, Molly was reacting to the sound, Cecilia was. And for you, the use of sound. So was there a lot of discussion about what kind of noises and what kind of ambience you were using?
Yeah. We did like a sketchy thing a sketch thing sound to pre-recorded to Cecilia on set so she could have something to react to. But we did a lot of discussion in the post-production. I mean, how much, you know, the balance, that's too much, because then you would go up and, you know, do something about it. And, you know, so it was a tiptoeing around everything, a balance all the time, which was fun, but also difficult.
And finally today, having your film at Sundance, premiering at the midnight, that's such a great spot. You know, as someone who's gone to Sundance for many years, it's such a great slot to have at the festival. So tell me how you feel about being here at Sundance this year, and your reaction to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, it's the best. It's a dream come true premiere at Sundance. I mean, I've never been there, but every time I see like a label on a film that says Sundance, I know it's going to be a good movie to watch. So, I mean, it's a really good quality of films. And
finally, Cecilia, some of the characters in the movie were hitting on Molly. I thought she just needed a date. You know, she just kept running away from them. I thought she wanted company so bad, from the super to the people around the building. I thought, oh, she's going to go on a date, and it never happened. I was rooting for you.
It doesn't solve her problems.
No, it doesn't. But I just thought she needs a nice night out, you know?
Yeah.
Even the guy selling the fruit, she could have gone out to dinner with or something. Just
he's
you know?
He's nice.
He was a nice guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
No.
The fruit guy.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. Totally enjoyed the film, and good luck with the film at Sundance. And we'll talk again soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.